Okay, part 3, 2018 rear catalytic inverter replaced. I got the new cat in. I went through some difficulties with getting the new cat converter in, actually with the old one too. So anyways, I want to give an update. My final, I got everything in, making sure that it did go in before I made this video. So I just want to give you here what else you need to do. All right, this is the passenger front tire. The opening that I mentioned before is in the fender well. Here's the problem. The stabilizer link. Keep that in mind when you put the cat converter in. There's a heat shield that I mentioned before. You can actually bolt it on first on the new cat converter, but well, the problem is this stabilizer link will be in the way, and also there's another heat shield around the steering column. Not the steering column, I'm sorry, the steering motor, rack and pinion. There's a heat shield right there that's going to be in the way when you get that cat converter in. And if I can point my finger into it, that heat shield right there. Now, I did the hard way. I took apart the heat shield on the cat converter, took it apart. It's a two-piece process. I slid the cat converter, which just barely made it through without taking the steering link off and without damaging the heat shield for the steering rack. And I just kind of laid it on the side here and I bolted it on. It's quite a bit of a maneuver with the heat shield going in there. I think the easiest way is just to take the heat shield and bend that bend the heat shield and then remove one of the bolts on the steering, the sway bar link. I've seen one video where they took the top one out and then just kind of lean it out of the way. I think that'll be the easier way to doing it, but I did the hard way out, putting the heat shield on the cat converter afterwards. So there's a lot of space in there once you have the cat converter in, and then I just kind of maneuver the heat shield and bolt off for that holds onto the heat shield. Oh, and when I remove the old cat converter, all right, this is along the exhaust pipe here. When I remove the cat converter, I wasn't able to take the cat converter out on the old one. I had to remove this cover. This cover is only protecting this mid shaft bearing right here. It's easy to take. It's easy to take out. It's just one bolt here, one there, and of course one on the other side up on top. Let's see if I can find it here. Right there. 3 bolts that that holds this cover. You have to take that out. There's no way of getting the cat converter. The reason being is because the bottom flange of the cat converter has no space. There's no way to wiggle that out, even when you're taking the old one out. Once you take this cover out, there's plenty of space to move around, and then you can flip it sideways and take it out towards the fender well. Keep that in mind. You have to take that out. also, I had to take the front end of the exhaust flange here. There's 3 bolts that holds the front and that goes towards the cat converter here in the front. There's no way of working around that because you need some slack on this exhaust to drop to clear the 3 bolts on the cat converter flange, as you can see here. Oh, and also you have to take this a rubber hanger, exhaust hanger. You have to slide this rubber out of this and then just flip it out of the way. That way it'll drop some more. But that's the way I can be able to get the bolts out of the way. If you don't do that, this will be up on top like this, and there's no way you can wiggle the 4 bolts because the 4 bolts that hold the upper flange goes out sideways. You can't move it up or down to clear these bolts. So just keep that in mind. That'll give you some slack. Once you do that, the cat converter can come out easily. But that's pretty much all I got. Oh, and also the O2 sensor, you see the bung? Well, the new one has a little plug there. You just have to loosen it before you put it back in. Put the cat converter in, because if not, you'll have a hard time. Well, probably not have a hard time, but you can put a hex later and then take that out. But I loosen it just to make it easier for me to just take the plug out. And plus, I didn't take the whole O2 sensor out. As far as I can remember, it was 3 full turns to take it out. I just unclip this from the bracket, and that's it. I made a mistake of taking this bracket out, but I don't think I need to. Where is it? Where the heck? Oh, here it is. There's a 10mm bolt that hold this. You don't have to take that out. This is clipped on to that bracket up on top. 2 areas actually on that bracket. One here, but that's the only one I could be able to reach to get the clip out. This one I couldn't reach, and there's one more on top that I couldn't reach either, but I was able to unplug it. It was too much of a hassle taking the whole sensor out, so I counted how many threads that goes into the bung, and it was 3 full turns. I just basically look at the white wire. It was like this in the beginning, so I just when I unscrew it, I counted how many turns it went in, and that's how many turns I'm gonna leave. That's how many turns I'm gonna make when I screw it back in. That way, when you make when you tighten it all the way down, it'll go back to its normal position like this. So keep that in mind. I thought that was the easiest way of doing it, because if not, it's going to take me probably another hour or 2 to unclip it and all that BS I have to go through. So that's the way I did it. Of course, the heat shield right here, I just kind of started the bolts, but I didn't take anything out. I didn't tighten anything down. I didn't know how if it was going to be in the way, just in case I needed to take it out of the way. Okay, and that's it. That's all I got for you. That's going to be the rest of my work. All I have to do now is put the bolts back in. Oh, one thing I didn't mention from the beginning, there's an aluminum cover, somewhat like this, it's sitting out there somewhere. But I had to take it down, take it out of the way to be able to get access to this area. So, and that's it, I think. As far as torque specs, good luck, because I don't have any torque specs. The most important is The cat converter flange, 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. That's the most critical. Everything else is pretty much, for the O2 sensor, I think it's like 20, I think it's like 25 to 30 normally. So good luck, guys. And of course, this is just a cover, so I'm not just going to hand tighten these bolts up. It's nothing, no stress on that, basically. But definitely on the cat converter, it's holding a lot of things up. So, all right, and that's it. Good luck to you guys. But I'm gonna conclude my video on this 2018 Honda Odyssey. It failed because of a misfire, and of course it caused a chain reaction and damaged the cat converter. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me show you why it failed. It threw a P0420. It burned, I guess, whatever leftover fuel, it burned the cat converter. And as soon as I knock it lightly, that is coming from the honeycomb. It's made of ceramic. Of course, there's metal inside the ceramic. I don't know how they do that process, but yep, definitely the whole honeycomb looks intact. Looks very intact. This is one indication. Now, when the cat converter fails, it either got so hot and that's how it is. It starts to get brittle and falls apart. Now, I already had a personal experience with my old 2000 Civic. I gapped. Well, instead I used the iridium spark plugs on my car at the time. You know, Honda Civics don't use iridiums, but I went ahead and used that. But I gapped it. I used the gap tool to bend in the middle. If you guys would know, one of those round gap tools, it's not made to bend anything. It's made just to check the gap. If you want to bend, you got to get the one with a kind of like a little hook on the end of one of these new gap tools, and you basically hook onto the electrode and then bend it in and out. But I made that mistake, and of course it messed up. It melted the honeycomb. It's got like little balls and beads that came out of it. But yeah, this is how it failed. I believe fuel got in it and it got so hot it burned the honeycomb and it becomes brittle, and now it's just falling apart. And this is what causes P0420 code. But this is after the fact that a fuel injector failed. It clogged the fuel injector. I think I mentioned that it was under warranty, so the dealer changed it under warranty with no cost at all, but it affected the cat converter. Guys, just want to let you know, if you have a emission error code on these 2018 Honda Odyssey, do not drive it any more than you have to. Once it throws a code, take it to the shop. And usually it'll say something about emission low threshold or something on the dash. Make sure you do that. Take it to the dealer. They'll change it out cost free if it's under 150,000 miles or 10 year. Make sure you do that. Also, I noticed my sister when using one of those bad gas, I guess. I mean, it's one of those gas stations out there that it's not top tier. Look up on Google, look for a top tier gas brand. It'll give you a whole list. The reason being is because they use a cleaning detergent. I just want to throw out an example. Chevron uses Techron, which is one of the fuel cleaners. It does help, guys. From personal experience, my 2010 TSX, I driven it for 250,000 miles before I gave it away to a family member anyways. I went ahead and changed the fuel injectors on it. It's a direct injection, by the way. This van, the Odyssey, is also a direct injection. The TSX that I changed out was clean as a whistle when I changed it out. The reason being is because I was always using a top tier gas station. I'm not affiliated to any of these brands, but I'm just gonna call the names out. Chevron, Texaco, of course, I think they merged together. Exxon and Mobil. Like I said, the name brands, you have no problem. But now the off brands, kind of like where Quick Trip, believe they're one of them. 76. Like I said, there's a website out there that you can bring up the top tier gas stations. Now these gas stations cost a little bit more, but it will reduce your problem in the long run, such as this one. Because my sister, the one around the corner, has one of those off brands, and it's not a top tier gas station. Now I'm sure this car, when she bought it, it was at 50,000 miles. I'm sure, you know, it was probably a lease or whatever. They just used one of those cheap gas using on this car, and of course it built up carbon on tip of the fuel injectors, and this is what caused the problem. Not to mention that Honda did put out a service bulletin saying that it was one of the supplier defects on the fuel injectors also. It was posted a couple of years back. That's the reason why I found it, and I told my sister to take it to the dealer. They changed out the fuel injectors with no charge. That was after the fact, and then, you know, it was too little too late. Cat converter failed at the same time. So okay, just want to give you all that info, and hopefully it'll help somebody before it's too late, and it's gonna cause a lot more problems. But yeah, this cat converter is the last resort. But if you caught it on time, you see that error code on the dash, go get it done right away. At least have it checked out. Who knows? If it's a related problem, they'll fix it for free. If not, it just costs you another $150 for the diagnostic fee, and you can take it to another shop or have them fix it. That's up to you. But yeah, they wanted $2 grand to change this rear cat converter. Of course, it's a Honda part. It's $1,500, and of course it amounts to like $2,000 for the labor also. Well, I can buy 5 of these cat converters in the aftermarket down the road, and it'll cost about the same thing. I'll just have to waste my time changing it every time, but it takes a whole day to change this. So but there's a couple of tools you're probably gonna need. Like I said, just basic tools. You don't need anything special. Impact gun would work very nicely with the exhaust bolts, so just keep that in mind. All right, that's all I got, guys. I'm sorry it's a little longer than I thought. I usually do like a 5-6 minute video, but there was too much information about this problem that a lot of people didn't know, so I wanted to post out there just to avoid this problem in the future with some of the customers, some of the potential customers anyways. So all right, okay, well, good luck, guys. Bye.